Okay, so it's day 12. The weather looks beautiful again today, so I think I'm in for a similar stunning day as to yesterday, which I'm so grateful for because I definitely feel tired today. But it is the equinox today, so happy equinox. So it's amazing to be here with nature at the equinox, so I'm in the right place. So let's just see what comes in. Like I said, I'm feeling a little tired today. I did do a ceremony last night for the equinox. It was late-ish, so anyway, let's see what today brings. So you'd have probably picked up from my introduction that my energy is quite low today. Definitely feeling tired, so definitely what's coming in today is a day of really resting, taking it easy and just allowing myself to receive from the mountain, from nature. So I'm really going to take my time, and it's an absolutely perfect day for that, for me just to spend time sitting and soaking in the scenery and just allowing nature to hold me and heal me, which nature does. You know, as I was walking up, I was burping quite a lot. Now that happens to me when I'm releasing energy, and when you're in nature, it's communicating with your nervous system, and the more time you spend in nature, the more your body, your nervous system feels safe and starts to basically align with the rhythm of nature. And when your nervous system feels safe, well, that's when healing can take place. You can't heal when your body is in stress. It's very hard for the body to release things. So when the body feels safe, and you're consistently doing something for your nervous system to regulate, it feels safe, then your body just automatically starts to release and deep layers of things that need to come out. So I started noticing this like years and years ago, that I just started like burping. I was like, whoa, what's this? And I'm going to link a video about that at the end where you can go into that deeper. But so we're in nature, our nervous system's singing with nature's heartbeat, and it's releasing anything that's not in resonance with it. Today is a day about receiving, and I'm going to bring a message to you about receiving. I just need a little bit more time to relax. So how cool is this? When I was just bending down to get some water, and I just saw under here this like plastic thing, and I just thought, what's that? I thought someone left it, shall I move it? And I pulled it out, and then I thought, oh, I feel like I could see a pencil, and I thought, I feel like someone has left this on purpose. So I had a look, and it has been placed here by the mountain staff for people to write on as visitors. How cool is that? So I've just added my name, Corinne, 2026, equinox. What a day for me to find this, love it. This is the perfect place to stop and deliver this message. The fault came because I've literally just fallen over on the descent, and luckily the part that I was on, I managed to get my hands out to stop me, but it did hurt a little bit, but it could have definitely been worse. So and as I always know, these things happen to bring us a message. And I started this this day with the fact that I'm feeling really tired today. My energy feels really low, and and I was getting the message, this really is a day for resting and receiving, really, and that can be really difficult for us. So I consciously chose to do this very, very slowly today, and I've been very slow and stopped a lot and just rested and laid on the mountain and just soaked in the sun. But it can be, that's been a huge lesson as well that I've been through in the last few years, learning how to slow down and receive, because the first half of my life, like many people, was just mentally work, just really working like a lunatic, like I've said before. And I really had to learn how to slow down and to be in that receptive energy and to allow myself to receive as well. So today's been about receiving from the mountain, letting the mountain just, really hold me and support me. And we think like, we're massive givers as people, because we taught to give of ourselves, and we find it hard to receive things, and it is something that we have to learn how to do, because otherwise we're out of balance. And if we're out of balance, then we're creating dis-ease in the mind and in the body. And if you think about the breath, right, when we breathe in and we breathe out, if we just breathed out all the time and gave, well, we'd die, right? We wouldn't survive. And that's really what's going on in a lot of people's lives. A lot of people are really out of balance. A lot of the planet, the mass consciousness, is living in a state of chronic stress that is normalized. So we really have to consciously choose to rest more, to allow ourselves to move into those energies of receiving. That was a lesson that I was forced to learn when I gave up my job, because all of a sudden all my clients just disappeared. And I knew I wasn't to go back into the contracting world, so I had to learn to slow down and just rest and receive. And it was really hard because my mind wanted to just spring into action, but I knew that was futile and was not what I was being called to do. And also I started to really, when I really started to retrain and learn more about the subconscious mind and started to observe my life and see these patterns, and I realised I was working like a maniac. And I used to tell myself, oh, it's because I'm responsible, it's because I've got a good work ethic. And then I realised it's not responsible at all. It's the opposite of responsible, because I'm harming my body. And I started to see how the mind can really override the body. So when the body's telling you that it's tired and it needs to rest, often the mind, there's programs in the mind that basically keep the body a prisoner, right? Like think simply, I used to work in an office, and the amount of times that, there's some people coming, so I'm just gonna stop a moment. So yes, there were so many days where I got in at 6 and I'd be working towards this deadline, and I'd already been working like crazy hours, and I'd need a wee, but I'd be like, I ain't got time for a wee, and I'd just be like, just keep going. And I'd wait till I was absolutely bursting. And I know so many people do these, right? It's just a little example of how we override our bodies when our body's telling us that it needs something. And we've got all these programs in the mind, so we override it and we continue. And that's when, eventually accidents happen. Like, look at me. I feel like that's why I just fell, just to bring this message through. I always know. I was like, that happened for a reason, just to show how, we can push ourselves and override our bodies, what our bodies need, what they want, because we've become disconnected from, obviously I've gone through a huge process of connecting to my body, and I know what my body needs and what it wants, and we have to reprogram ourselves, and we have to become conscious of this and allow ourselves to rest and receive, and not just be giving all the time. So that message is coming through today. I don't feel like I've got much energy to bring much more through today, and I'm just gonna, like I say, the sun is out. It's gorgeous. Not quite as warm as yesterday because it's a little bit windy at the top. I was going to spend a bit more time there, but it was a little bit cool with the wind, but it is beautiful, so I'm so grateful for the sun. Really needed that today. I'm gonna go home now, and I'm about halfway down the descent, so when I get home today I'm just going to do absolutely nothing. The couch is calling me. I'm going to just completely rest and unwind, and I'm absolutely sure that tomorrow I'll feel more energized again. So anyway, that's the message today. So really look in your life, I'd say, right, look where you are overriding your body because you have got these programs like, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And, you know, and sometimes we are, you know, when I was, just to add, when I was working in the corporate world, there were times when I'd started to awaken and I was starting to make new choices and not work as much and, you know, prioritize myself and also retrain, you know, allowed me to do that. There was times when I was working on major projects that had like major deadlines, and I just had to like, there were things that were you know, that I had to deliver at certain times. So in those times, so if you're in a period like that, like, you know, like now, like my body's tired, I'm tired. Normally I wouldn't come to the mountain today, I'd rest, but I'm doing a challenge and I'm committed to it. And there is times when sometimes, you know, your body is tired, but I still, so you've got to find a way to listen, to find a balance where you can listen to your body. And like, so today, for example, doing this, I'm like, okay, I feel low energy, I feel tired. You know, it's not a point where I'm like, you know, I'm going to harm myself by it. You know, we don't want to push our bodies to harm, but I know that it's not going to harm me doing this mountain trek today, but I know I need to do it slowly. I know, do it slowly, and I've really taken my time. Like I said, I've stopped often and I've laid down on the rocks and I've let the sun just restore me and you know, just really hold me before I've continued. So if you're in a period where you just feel like it's really difficult to really give your body the rest it needs, and give it what you can, look what you can move out of your life. Like today, I'm like, I'm not going to do anything. Like there's other things I was going to do today, editing for my other YouTube channel, and I was like, absolutely no, I'm not doing any of that. So look where you can clear things out of your schedule and give yourself as much rest as you can, so you can really receive that healing and that support that comes in when we allow ourselves that time. So okay, I'm gonna leave it at that and continue to descend very, 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 very slowly. Yeah, so just to add there, what was also coming in was that, you know, because obviously I've talked about being tired. I'm tired today, right? But I'm not in exhaustion. I spent a lot of time in exhaustion and still pushing myself because of my mind programs. But I never do that now. I don't, in fact, I never get to a point of exhaustion. I don't even know the last time really that I got to a point of exhaustion, because I don't allow myself to get to those points, because I make sure that I get plenty of rest. So that was just coming through that as well, that, you know, a lot of people are exhausted, right? Like I said, I guess chronic stress and still pushing themselves, and this is when you really have to start to look at those programs and allow yourself to rest. So yeah, just, oh, look at this beautiful sun, these amazing sun codes that are coming through this video right now as well. And you know, when I was here yesterday in the sun, and obviously it's beautiful today still, and I was laid down, I was like, oh, I could have stayed there all day. Like, the sun is so healing, it's so restorative, it's really gonna heal being in that sun. So anyway, you can soak in some of these incredible sun codes that are coming through this video now. So one thing to actually add about tiredness right now is that you probably are experiencing a lot more tiredness in your life and in your body, because the planet is going through a upgrade and an ascension, and so is our bodies. We're getting so much divine light coming in, which is, you know, part of why more and more people are awakening and starting to really question things that they've never questioned before in their lives, and start to look for new ways to live. because we are going through a great awakening. The planet is receiving lots of light. The grids are being upgraded, switched on, and so that is the same within our bodies as well. So actually our bodies during this period as well can feel extremely tired and need a lot more rest than they used to need in the past. So it's just so important that we allow ourselves that rest and we don't work ourselves into those states of pure exhaustion. So I just wanted to add that on. It is quite normal right now to feel increased tiredness in the body, and to really have compassion with ourselves and allow ourselves much more rest. Okay, so I'm literally 5 minutes from the bottom, so I'm going to summarize here. So that was the end of day 12, which was really all about rest, and really what was just coming in was you've got to give yourself permission, because if you're waiting for someone else to give you permission, it's unlikely going to happen, right? If you're waiting for a boss to say slow down, a partner to say don't do that, rest more, it's unlikely going to happen, because part of giving ourselves permission to slow down and rest heals a lot of programs in us. It actually starts to heal the program that we don't matter, that we're not good enough, that we're not important, by giving ourselves permission, by recognizing that we do matter, we are important, and if we're tired, we should rest. We deserve to rest. There's nothing wrong with resting. There's nothing wrong with feeling tired. Like I say, we're going through an ascension, bodies are being upgraded, lots is coming up to heal. When we do energy work like this internally, it takes a lot for the body to integrate that into its cells. So we have to give ourselves permission, because it's about us standing in our power. It's about us reclaiming our sovereignty. It's about us not giving away autonomy of our body to somebody else, to a boss, to a partner. And also, when we're doing that, we actually, if we've got children, we're showing them a healthy way to be as well, that they matter, that it's okay to rest, and we don't have to be on the go constantly all the time. Sometimes it will trigger people. I've noticed the last, I moved to Scotland in November. I've been doing so much. I've been on such a huge inner journey of deep healing and upgrades and activations in my body. My body's been integrating a lot, and it's been tired a lot, and I'm receiving a lot of information, a lot of light, and my body's been having to recalibrate to that. So I have been tired quite a lot. So I've been, a rest. I give myself the rest, and I've noticed that sometimes when someone will say to me like, "Oh, do you want to talk?" and I'll be like, "Oh no, I'm tired." That they've said to me like, "Oh, you're always tired," like judging me, and I'm like, "Well, I'm tired, so to say I'm tired." So and that's just how it is, right? So you might notice when you start to be authentic and studying your power and truthful, and say what's really happening, and giving yourself that permission to rest because you're tired. It can sometimes trigger people, but you just have to stand in your own sovereignty and power and do what's right for you. There's nothing wrong with taking time to rest. In fact, I demonstrated by falling over that if we push ourselves, and if we do things in exhaustion, that's when bad shit can happen, right? Like, falling asleep at the wheel of the car, just stuff like that, because we've overrid our body that's telling us to rest with our mind. So we've really got to start bringing attention to them. Like I said, I really came into focus with me back in 2018, something like that, when I had to start really taking back my power and really reprogramming that part of my mind. And it was in layers, right? It comes up in layers, more and more layers to heal. But as soon as we start to bring awareness to it, we can start making new choices. So today's message, and I'm just trying to get the sun in there, those beautiful sun codes, like you can see the red coming in, the yellow, it's beautiful. So the message today is about rest, giving yourself permission rest, and whilst it was also about receiving, I'll probably go into that in more detail another day, but it's really about rest, giving yourself permission to rest, looking in your life where that's not happening, and look what you can change in your schedule to allow yourself more time and space, especially at these times that we are in, and it's just going to get more and more intense with the energy as well. So you know, you do really need to start tuning into the body and starting to be able to communicate with the body and be aware of the thoughts that are keeping the body hostage, and start to work on dissolving them. So that's the end of day 12. I'm feeling a bit more energized, probably because I'm getting to the end, and I know that I'm just going to go home and completely rest for the rest of the day, and I'll be back with you tomorrow on day 13. So let's see what day 13 brings.